How you doing, Buckaroos? How the heck are you? So, hey, Merry Christmas, y'all. Try to use a festive backdrop here. This one's got a snowman, a Christmas tree, and then there's a reindeer. Looks like Rudolph because it's got a red nose there. But my bottle covers it, and I want you to see the bottle, man. So this came in the Winter Warmer mix pack from Urban Chestnut. This is their Mapleator Bock. I'm going to give you just a little bit from their website. Uh, 8%, 22 IBUs. It uses only pearl hops. Pearl hops tend to be aromatically floral and a little spicy. The flavors tend to be more herbal. Some will get mint. Again, you also might get some earthy notes as well. You might get some of that spiciness. So there you go. I was going to read a little bit there, but I'm not going to after all. This is part of their Revolution series. They do a traditional Bach, but they call the Mapleator, from the Revolution series because of the addition of the maple, so it's not 100% traditional. They just want you to know that. There's a difference between the Reverence and Revolution. The nose is very nice. You do get some of that sweet maple, but the addition of that pearl really helps out the aroma so it doesn't get too sweet on the nose. You do have some of those light spicy notes as well as the floral characteristics that that hop will give you. It's a nice, I don't know, kind of very, very clear amber, I'm going to call it. Got the color of an amber ale. Oh, goodness. Wow. It's big, man. I mean, it is 8%, but I mean, you know it's 8%. I mean, it is what it is. This style isn't necessarily supposed to mask the alcohol. It wants you to know it's there. Having said that, though, it's not there in an unpleasant way. You know, if you've ever had those great big, crappy adjunct high gravity lagers, I mean, that's tasting the alcohol in a really nasty way. This you are aware of that 8%, but it doesn't feel harsh or off-putting in any way. There is a difference, folks. Again, the maple is in there, but it never gets too sweet. And I'm always cautious about maple beers. I don't necessarily dislike maple, but I'm not really into sweet, you know? So I'm always a little cautious about beers like that. But this one, again, I mean, you know the maple's there, but it doesn't get too sweet. And again, I think the pearl hops really help it out here because again, you've got those kind of earthy notes. I don't know if I'm getting mint. Some say you can get mint, but it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion. But they are known for its earthy characteristics, herbal characteristics as well. You get that kind of suggestion of spice that really stops that maple from getting too sweet on you. It's a great beer. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm only going to have one. It came with two in the pack. I'm just going to drink one of them. Is it one that I could drink several of? Probably not. But in fairness to the beer, and I very rarely order the same beer twice when out anyway. So that might be an unfair thing to say. But it is one of those beers. It is very distinctive. It does feel strong. It is one I'm only going to want one of. But having said all that, if I was out, if I was at Urban Chestnut, it is something, although I might not order two in a sitting, I would order it again on separate visits because it is good. It is quality. If I were to see this on tap somewhere, I would try it just to see what it was like on tap. So the question being, would you order it again, Tom? My scale is always simple. Would you buy it again? Yes. If this was available in a 4 pack on its own, I would buy it for that reason. You're going to get some other flavors in here, and I'm not going to go into detailed tasting notes because who needs that? Uh, Try it yourself. It is a good beer. Everything Urban Chestnut does is great in my opinion. I'm just a fan of the brewery. I just like what they do. I like the fact that they just make solid beers. They take this Revolution series and they kind of go out of the box a little bit, but they've never got into that 100 ingredient beer fight, and they've never got into that pound for pound IPA fight either. They just keep making solid beer and they keep doing it right. and that's what I love about the brewery. They don't worry about the trends. They don't worry about what you know what the trendy beer geeks are buying. They just make good beer for folks that want good beer, and that's what I like about them. There you go. I know it kind of sounds like a commercial for the product. I'm not being paid. I'm not a paid spokesman, man. I bought this beer myself. I didn't shamelessly ask the brewery to send it like some folks out there do. Even though they might tell you they don't ask, breweries just don't randomly send stuff unless you ask them, folks. That's not how it works. But yeah, I guess I've been places where I've been offered a free beer. I'll take it. But that's different than writing emails or whatever, and trying to get that free product. I think that there is a difference. There is a line. I like buying the beer myself. That way, it's an honest representation. I paid $20 for the 8 pack, the 16.9 ounce bottle. So I'm going to give you an honest opinion. Whether my video comes off as a commercial or not, well, but I'm going to be honest one way or the other. If you've seen some of my videos, if there's something I don't like, I'll tell you. I'm always honest, whatever it is. I just think Urban Chestnut is a darn fine brewery and they should be recognized as such. Mm. I hope you all are having a good Christmas, man. I hope you celebrated a happy Festivus. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I hope it was good for you. Kwanzaa, whatever you happen to celebrate, it really makes me no never mind if you're a pagan, if you're, which Christians kind of stole your holiday. Our bad, but we like the tree idea, man. We had to incorporate that way. We got at the time we converted pagans to Christianity because we just kind of stole your holiday, man. I'm like irritating. I just think we all ought to respect everybody's beliefs, whatever they might be. I am a Christian. I do celebrate Christmas, but I don't get my knickers in a knot if somebody says Happy Holidays to me. I think the notion is ridiculous. There is no war on Christmas. There's never been a war on Christmas. You just had a handful of really uptight, mostly white folks that got their knickers in a knot because they realized there were other religions than theirs having a holiday as well during this time of year. We all ought to be able to get along. One holiday, one person's religion isn't more important than another's. If you can't respect somebody else's belief, you're the problem. You're what's wrong. Not necessarily with the country, but you're what's wrong with society in general. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. I will give you my opinion. I'll tell you, man, if I like it or I don't like it. I'm not sure that I ever had an urban chestnut beer that I haven't liked completely. I mean, obviously, we all have specific tastes. There are some that I've liked more than others, but I don't know that I don't think I've ever had one that I just didn't like at all, because everything they do is just put together so well. And I like that even though they do other things, I mean their home run swing really is their German beer styles. And for some reason, German beer styles just aren't trendy at the moment, but they just do them so well. Even when they take even when they have a little riff on it like this one, the Mapleator. I mean, it does feel like a traditional Bock with the addition of maple. So they're not calling it a traditional Bock because they've added maple to it, but it does feel like they've done the beer justice. Oh goodness, good golly, that's good. Wow, that's just wow. That just makes everything wiggle, man. I gotta tell you, I'm just feeling Christmassy all. Seriously though, I hope you all are having a good holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you celebrate something else, happy holidays to you. If you don't celebrate at all, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Celebrate something. Get a beer, have a glass of wine, get some whiskey, do something, man. Have a good time. Quit being an uptight jackass. Relax the hell, man. Anyways, oh, I used to joke that I go right to the line, right where I know I should stop, and then blow it up. And then my son Seamus said to me one day, he says, "Dad, you don't blow it up. You go right to the line, and then you throw a party. You dance all over it. You know you should stop, but then you just celebrate. You go do a victory." That man, yeah, actually, that is me. That is a much better description. So, those of you that know our situation, it's been difficult. We lost our son April 23rd of 2013 to leukemia. There is a cause that we support. There are some great places out there that support whatever charity you decide, but I like pedal the cause, and I encourage folks that are watching this to look up that organization on the internet because they do some great stuff. Every penny that you donate goes to cancer research. I mean, there are so many charities out there that uh, percentages of your money go somewhere else. They get corporate donations to cover administration and everything else. If you donate $1, that whole dollar goes to cancer research. If you donate $100, it goes to cancer research. If you donate $1,000, whatever you donate goes to cancer research. It's a cause that Seamus was supporting before we lost him, and it's a cause that I continue to support since because it was one that he was behind. There are some great. I mean, Make a Wish. That's not necessarily about cancer, but they do great things and they're nice to have. I mean, there are some other great charities, but he liked this one because it was about research. It was about finding a cure. It broke his heart. He never complained once about being in the hospital. That's what when people came in to meet him, when he first met his Pedal the Cost team, they were just amazed that he never talked about the cancer. He never complained, and he was in pain. Uh, you know, you, I mean, he was on chemo that does some terrible things to you, but he never once complained about those things. It always broke his heart that there were kids younger than him there, and he was only 13 at the time. That's the kind of person he was. It just when he would see younger kids in there, it just broke his heart. He always uh, wanted somebody to find a cure. So please, if you don't donate to Pellicos, at least look them up and study the organization, because everybody that I've talked to personally that has looked them up and has done research has been impressed with them, and most have given some money, even if it was just $1. So please look up that organization. They're doing great work in the St. Louis area. We spent so much time in St. Louis, and I love St. Louis breweries. I love a lot of St. Louis restaurants, and I love a lot, almost everything about St. Louis. All the neighborhoods that they have there, because Seamus was at. We spent so much time at St. Louis Children's Hospital. They weren't able to save our son, but it doesn't mean they don't do great work. It was just you know sometimes things happen for reasons you can't explain. So, anyways, hey, that's you know, this video is a perfect illustration of why I don't call what I do a beer review. I'm just having a conversation, man. Just as if you and I were talking in a bar. Sometimes our mind wanders to other things. We might talk about some tasting notes. We might go to something else. We might come back to the beer. That's kind of the way it goes. Hey, I am Ton of Beer Whisperer. Accept no imitations. I am the real one. Just kidding, man. Hey, I'm Ton of Beer Whisperer. I hope you all are having a good holiday. I hope all of your families are well. And for all my family and friends out there, we love you dearly. And I'll be back.